Hi. All right, Hood College in Rio Grande. Oh God, what's your friend?
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
NECC, I know you've been waiting, and you have been waiting very patiently, and we appreciate you for that. Thank you all for being here and sticking around, but we're back with some more Rocket League action. It's Hood College taking on Rio Grande. I'm Grant, CFO, joined in the booth by none other than the man himself. Staged, what's going on, good sir?
Grant, it is great to be here with you this evening. I personally cannot wait to see these two teams engage in battle on the pitch. But the NECC has always given us such high-quality games, and I think this is going to be no exception. Rio Grande and Hood College, Rio Grande's been having a tough season. In fact, they've yet to take a win on their schedule, but I do think that they've got a chance here that we just need to see a little bit of momentum, because the big thing about it is Hood's coming off of a bye. It kind of gives you a little bit of like that rest. It kind of means that you cool down some, in my opinion. So I'm wondering if that's going to affect their performance, or if Hood's going to continue the trend of sweeping Rio Grande.
I think, in my personal opinion, just looking at a couple of the teams that have faced both of the teams playing today, you look at it, and Hood College has actually beat a couple of those teams that have 3-0'd Rio Grande. So it just makes me lean towards the side that Hood College is going to take this in a 3-0. We could see a totally one-sided matchup. Now, obviously, I hope not, but if we do, it's nothing to be shocked at. Rio Grande has not had the best of seasons, to say the least, and Hood College has had a much better looking one, picking up, I mean, they are almost undefeated. They had a bye, like you said, and they one stage. What are we looking at here? What are your predictions? Get in here and tell me what you're thinking.
So I think the big thing, oh no, Rio already come out with a little bit of whiffs, but I think the big thing we're going to be looking for is consistency and speed of recovery on these games. I think that whichever team has the better consistency and whichever team is quicker to recover and maintain their momentum is going to have a wonderful series.
Oh, I think you are absolutely right. And that's not me just saying, oh, absolutely. It is a huge defining moment right here. You see every single player from Rio push out, and that speed of recovery just was non-existent in that play drive. They got stuck on defense. They let everybody go back. You even see Ramsey stick back in the net for this one, playing super defensively, struggling mechanically as the heat just comes on from Hood College. We could even be in for a high-scoring match if they can't get these rotations down and solid.
At the same time, we really can't count out Rio Grande. Ramsey getting a good play off the corner, but again, you need to have people in position there for it, and if it doesn't pan out, you need to be back and recovering, getting that boost, and getting yourself moving. So, slamming that one away.
Oh goodness, it's so close. You see just the littlest of trust in Rio there. Not everybody was going to have their time to get involved. When that ball came off the wall, somebody needed to step up to the plate to contest the incoming shot. And it's also a bit of an issue that the first player forward hit it off that sidewall, because that is probably the worst thing you can do on defense, is set up the other team via that side.
So far, the pressure coming out of Hood College is oppressive, and the own goal by Lil Pickle. Oh, this is heartbreaking. Grant, I can't watch.
I can't either. I want to hide my eyes. Why are you leaving me to watch? It is so heartbreaking, man. Lil Pickle was trying to get the clear. They did everything right. The rotations were there, but they couldn't get the angle outside of the net. Now we see a case of right goes, when traditionally, once you get to this higher level of gameplay, it's left goes. So trying some misdirection, but all caps. That's an all capital goal right there.
You don't have to scream like that, but that is certainly making a statement. Just a little doink past the defender. Ramsey is slow to ascend and going to let one more by.
And I thought you were talking to me for a second, telling me not to scream, but how could you not? Okay, that was a sick doink, but I mean, now we see a fifth shot go in. Oh goodness, I really agree with you. I can't watch, man.
This is the tempo of, so I was thinking this is going to be a case of consistency or a case of recovery, but I think the big thing that we're seeing is just the tempo from Rio Grande is not where Hood College is taking it. Hood College is relentless. Their aggression is pounding away at this, and they're quicker to the air than Rio Grande at every turn. This is like watching the Harlem Globetrotters.
They are high flying, and I hope we get to see some Harlem Globetrotter action because, I mean, at this point, you know just how good you are against this team, and you're just gonna take the basic goals, go for some freestyles or some clean passing plays, have a little bit of mercy.
Hood, absolutely relentless though, and this is the kind of thing where if you're in a contentious series, or if you're in a situation where you do need to maintain momentum, or you do need to preserve some of the morale factor, I guess, having a series that just turns into an absolute blowout from game one is so good for your team morale.
Yeah, it is. You have to keep that morale high anyway to begin with. You try all these different things to go, and oh boy. Oh boy. I don't even get a chance to speak. Hood College is like, nah.
They're just going to burn past on the double commit. And that's two players from Rio as well into the air. Little Pickle behind, but it just soars by all of them. This is definitely a dominant performance from Hood College.
You think so? You think so, State? I think it's even more than that. This is just, I don't think there's words to describe it. They are slaughtering the net with shots. It is not pretty.
What's the next word beyond dominant, Grant?
I don't know. I gotta get a thesaurus.
I have never seen a Rocket League game that has 8 goals before halftime.
I haven't either. I don't blame you.
This is the pace that you expect to see goals scored in ones.
Yeah, it really is. This is. They're going for double digits, and you don't think they're going to stop there. They're going to go for 20. If they can get 10 before halftime, they can absolutely get 20. They're going for an NECC record. Maybe even Rocket League. Maybe Rocket League record staged.
I feel like this is the kind of thing where you get like those content creators on YouTube and everything making the clickbait titles about, we just broke a Rocket League record.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. I can see it now. Somebody's probably recording the comms and everything. They're like, we're going for a record. They've got the content flowing, they've got the goals flowing, and they do get 10, 4 seconds under halftime.
And you know the thumbnail too is gonna have the little like iridescent white outline on the cars and the ball, so it just pops out that much more.
Oh boy, this is. I've just pulled out the oh my gosh, I can't even say that. How am I gonna say the other words? The thesaurus for these words. We've got assertive, commanding, effective, predominant, powerful, prevalent, prevailing, principal performance from Hood College. And I think that's just about all the words I can use to describe how this one is going.
I don't even want to know how many times, like what percentage of the time the ball has been in Rio Grande's territory this game.
Oh gosh, this is when we need to call Lars, because he's got the heat maps for when the players are just spending certain times in certain parts of the field. Yeah, I think it looks pretty red over in the half of Rio Grande right now.
A little bit of defense, though. They're not dead in the water entirely. A little Pickle coming off the sidewall, trying to establish something. Drop pass, maybe?
Oh, they're getting closer.
Signs of life. I don't know if this is just like rigor mortis, but this is signs of life out of Rio Grande here.
You know, the thing I'm liking from Rio Grande is the fact that they've got their rotations pretty solid. They know when to back down. There's trust, but there's a lack of speed right now. They are getting outpaced in just about every other aspect that Hood College can bring to the table. You see a demo as well, opening up some space for the defense to regain themselves and create that next counterattack. But man, they are so quick now. It's a little bit of a taste of their own medicine as Rio Grande tries to set something up for themselves. But Lil Pickle, their shot, their pass is intercepted, and slamming this one home.
And you know, the other thing about that too, the signs of life that we see, the good rotations, fundamentally, I don't think there's anything wrong with what Rio Grande is doing. I think there is that lack of speed, like you're saying. But looking at the individual performances, aside from just being like a second behind the ball, I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with the way they're playing. This is just a class performance from Hood.
Yeah, they are just much quicker, and that's something that Rio Grande really need to focus on going into the next week and the rest of their series. They need to play these quicker teams, and they need to take this practice to heart. Even if it's a game, even if they're down, they need to take it as experience and move along with it. They need to force their brains to think quicker, because right now they just can't. Grind out your mechanics and let your coach tell you how to play the game, but you got to make these challenges quick to the ball, and if your mechanics are holding you back, you're not going to get much done. But Lil Pickle does find the first goal for Rio Grande.
Nice little counterattack carry. That's a good answer as well, managing to intercept that and get it back on target. So again, the fundamentals are there, Grant. The fundamentals are there.
Yes, they are absolutely there. And Lil Pickle showing off that speed. That was the one time that Rio Grande were able to get in front of the ball, beat out their opponent. Really, really great job. I love how they're playing. If they can just speed it up, have those mechanics to back up how fast they would like to go, they could be a top tier team in this division. And that's not me capping, that's not me sugarcoating it. I genuinely believe that is what's going on. Take it. I like to coach, bro. I have a coaching mind. I'll give you some tips as much as I can, but Ramsey comes through with another beat out shot.
I almost wonder, so this is not me trying to find excuses. I'm genuinely watching this and looking at the way that they're playing. I feel like Travis Hunt is on a monitor that has high latency.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you're playing on console, you might want to have a better monitor and a better save, even better. I'm trying to piece this all together right now, but have a better save than that is what I'm trying to say at the moment.
Right, everything they're doing, they're intercepting the ball like too far behind where its trajectory is, but they're always on target if the ball was, say, half a second behind.
Yeah,
and it's
maybe.
consistent. It's consistent.
Yeah, it is, and I love everything that I'm seeing out of Rio Grande. They just need to get quicker. Maybe they found a shot, but it's just off the crossbar, and it will go down. Hood College will take this one.
This is absolutely convincing performance. Hood College puts an absolute track meet out there, 19 shots on goal, and you can definitely tell that there was a little bit of mercy rule in effect towards the end of that, just slowing down, getting more involved in the demos, kind of having some fun out there on the pitch. But yeah, that is, you can get away with it then when you're that far ahead.
Yeah, you can. I just want to see. I want to see Hood College go for something other than just the basic goals. Just trying to get in the face of Rio. Yes, they're probably going for a record, but if you're gonna be this good, you know, try practicing other things that you can't practice with other teams. You know, we're talking about the experience and what you can collect from each game and series that you walk into. Take this as an opportunity to just practice some stuff, find some connections in a real game scenario. You know, find those pass plays, get those setups rolling, get those shots, heat it up, and just go.
Now, Grant, I do have one appreciation, though, from the side of Hood College, that they're not going for the big clip shots. They're not trying to do all the flip reset, musties, ceiling shots, everything like that, because I think that when you're in a situation when you're that far ahead, trying to get that stylish is a little bit rude.
It is. I would agree with you. So that, you know, keep it toned down to those pass plays. Go off the wall. I mean, if it were me in this situation, I would go off the ceiling with one of my buddies, see if we can make a connection. But you're right, it would be absolutely rude. But so is a 13-2 goal performance from Hood. So I think they've already done enough. Let's just see what this game's got in store for us.
All right, Little Pickle going to bounce this one off the wall, already ascending for it, but not going to find anything. Nader Tot's tempo is just unassailable.
It is, and here they come again off the corner, though. Lil Pickle gets the beat, might have another here to the back wall. This is a whole fresh game for Rio Grande. Let's see how they do. Travis tried to get involved. Can't find their shot, slamming from the right side out to the midfield. Nader Tot gets a touch up high to block it away to Hood College. That's not the greatest shot from all caps. Oh no! Such a textbook save. So close, but the narrow margins.
The narrow margins indeed. You don't expect that angle off the bounce shot. A little bit slow, a little bit rushed actually in trying to save that, not lining yourself up. And Hood taking the lead once more. This looks like it might be a three-peat, and we're only on game 2.
it could very easily go into a 3P. Oh my goodness. All caps just passed that right in front of the face of one of the defenders. They saw their life flash before their eyes. Had to pump the brakes a little bit on that one. Now they get regrouped and they're back the other way. Here's the freestyles though. Nadertot can't find it. It's just wide to the right side, and an actually really good angle from all caps off the right side.
I find it really interesting that both of these shots that we have so far that have resulted in goals for Hood have come from those outside angles with just little tiny taps. They're not any power whatsoever, but getting it outside of your usual shooting lanes is interesting to me.
It is, and they'll continue to do it here. Nadertot up for another double, doesn't bounce the way they want it to. Instead, it waterfalls down to all caps. Lil Pickle gets the interception, and they have been really nice on the speed of the ball, getting involved and in the way of the incoming passes from Hood College. I really like what I'm seeing there, but Slammon's got another shot, and Ramsey misses another in the net.
Again, just one of these mid-tempo shots, 64 kilometers an hour. You know, eventually I should probably change it over to miles an hour. I am an American. I've got to use the appropriate units of measure.
Only in America will you find this measuring system. Everybody else calls us out for it, and frankly, I agree. It would cost probably a couple $100 billion to replace all of that. There was some kind of article or study about that. I can't remember the exact amount, but it is a large sum of money to try to convert everything to Imperial, and it would take years upon end. Would it be worth it? I have no idea.
Hey, we made it to the moon on Imperial, so it must have some kind of use, even if it's ruined the space program at some points.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he's got a point. Stage has got a point. Maybe Lil Pickle had a bit of exclamation point, but they missed their shot there. They missed the pass connection that we've been talking about. All caps, though, takes the ball for themselves, slamming over onto the right side. To the back wall they go, but Travis and Ramsey forming a bit of wall. Now they get a huge clear. Lil Pickle in clutch. Oh, they couldn't turn themselves around, and a fourth one goes in for Hood.
This is definitely a slowdown of play since the last game for Hood, but honestly, I kind of appreciate it. I think they're just trying to work on their ground game and play things a little bit more relaxed because they recognize that the first game was such an absolute slobber knocker.
Yeah, it's great when you go into another game and you have that mentality that, hey, just because we got, you know, just because we lost, we got slammed in the first game, does not mean we're going to get slammed again in the second game. This one is a much closer game as we got to just about the same mark when they cross that 10-goal differential. Now it is a 5-goal. They've cut it in half, so there's still a chance going into game 3 if this is to continue the way it does.
You know, I think that this is honestly Hood College trying to drill out accuracy. They have 5 goals and 5 shots on goal, so 100% accuracy, making sure that when they shoot, it doesn't miss the mark.
Shot accuracy is huge. Travis Hunt with a good block on the side. Ramsey takes it out. Nadertot down below, intercepted by Travis. Up to Lil Pickle. Couldn't find it because Slammin gives Pickle a little taste of their own medicine, but Pickle throws us up to the back wall. Slammin up to the backboard. Travis will look to catch it underneath. All caps sends it right back up into airspace occupied by Nadertot. The drop down is hot. 6-0 for Hood.
Grant, I have to give you enormous amounts of credit. I would not be able to resist saying that every verb on the ball was just slamming it somewhere.
Yeah. Oh boy, you gotta get the puns, you gotta get the analogies, just every English phrase you can think of, you gotta slam it in there, my boy.
The all caps defense going to send this back through the midfield. Almost an opportunity for Little Pickle to send that long bomb downfield, but there is no break in the defense for Hood College so far. And off the side wall, that's just a connection for the airmail. No need for the missing connection section in your newspaper this time.
Oh, we love it, Stage. We love the adjectives, the adverbs, the verbs, the everything, and we love that pass connection. Do you think Hood, they've done enough getting 13-2 in the first game, or are they going to let one slide here for the Brazil? Do you think Hood College is a toxic college? I hope not, but it is fun. I don't know. What do you think, Stage?
I'm actually questioning, do you think that the Brazil is toxic? Now, if you go out there and
if you let it in.
Right. If you own goal for the Brazil, then it's definitely toxic. But if it's just for the like, okay, this happens this way, then I don't think that's toxic. I think that's just a one-sided game.
Okay, good thing we don't have to worry about it. Barcelona still exists, but 8-0 is the scoreline now. Another fantastic play from Nader Tot. All caps got a piece of it. I wasn't even paying attention. I blinked and I missed it. There we go.
Well, when it's already on target, the whole point is you got to make sure you steal the credit away from your teammates, because even more than the scoreline at the end of the game, the individual contribution points, that's how you earn your spot on a team's roster.
It is. It's just so fantastic to watch. We love seeing the clean plays, and we love seeing these pass connections from Nader Tot in all caps. Now it's Slammin looking for a demo, doesn't find anybody. Lil Pickle sends it out to the right side. They'll carry it down off and into the ground. Still a little bit cluttered on the way back from Hood College. It's an area that can be taken advantage of for Rio Grande. They will just be unfortunate not to happen right now. Nader Tot for 9.
Nader Tot for 9. I like it. Overall, this is definitely a foregone conclusion. The big question that I have is, what's going to be the scoreline for Rio Grande? Like, how much individual contribution they get? And I'm definitely seeing that Little Pickle is a big driving force behind their team, and I'm hoping that they end up with a pretty big improvement. Like, I want to see some more performance out of them in like ones play, for instance.
Right. Yeah, ones is a great, I guess, playground to get those mechanics solid. And obviously you've got free play, and it goes back to what I was recommending earlier. You know, if you look at lower level teams such as Rio Grande, the reason why they get beat out is just because of the speed. And so you have to play these faster teams. And obviously you can't just take a platinum team, for example, and throw them up against RLCS pros. That's not practical experience. Ramsey gets a cheeky one. We'll come back to this. What happened on the kickoff?
It was, they called it out in chat, faking. And then they lived up to it. So
Men of their word.
I guess that's a case where you can yell at your team for not backing you up, or you can just say, we did exactly what we told you were going to do.
I guess so. But, you know, going back to my point, you got to get some of that practical experience. So if it was a platinum team, for example, throw them up against some diamonds, see how they do. Force them to think faster, and that's how they get up to the speed of other teams. And so I would just like to see more of that. More experience, more practice going in from week to week. I just want to see that. Get faster, train your mechanics in free play, grind them, whatever you got to do, and take it with you next week.
The one thing I will say, though, is this is definitely a case where I cannot judge Rio too harshly, because I took a very, very long break from Rocket League at one point. And when I came back, it's not a matter of, you know, I'm playing at their level, worse or above. It's just the things that I felt like I could do, the things that were mechanical, like things that, okay, I can totally do this. I can make these dribbles. I can make these flicks. I can make these aerials. Suddenly, I'm looking at myself and just beating myself up because I'm whiffing everything that I took for granted.
And that's just a common theme of Rocket League players who first start out. They're like, I know what I want to do, I just can't get my fingers to do it. And that's just the issue they run into. So they spend countless hours in free play trying to get those mechanics up to par and getting your fingers to do what they want to do. And I mean, eventually it works. That's how you see people collect thousands of hours on the game, and then how do they get good? Well, look at their hour, look at their track record. They spent the time, they put in the work, and they got to where they are. And it's just it's a large, long process with small steps at a time.
I definitely agree with you. And one of the things, too, for me personally, like that training part and just kind of sitting in free play for hours, because I'm a Rocket League boomer. I started this game right after beta. This is like the original Season 1. And it was so tedious just sitting there grinding through the default training packs before they even had the custom ones and free play. But now you've got like the workshop maps and everything, too.
Oh, yeah.
You get so many opportunities to train in all of these crazy new ways. And you get so many new maps and things like Forbidden Temple Day, where we find ourselves matching up here as we're already in the action.
we are already in the action. Unfortunately, Travis will have to miss out on that PC Workshop action as they're a console player, but they are a good player. Here they are taking it out from the corner. The Ramsey gets involved. Lil Pickle carries it out to the front, blocked by Diamond Fire. Wait, is there a substitution on the field? I don't recognize that name at all.
Yes, there was a substitution. In fact, it looks like that one's coming in for all caps. So we'll see if this team ends up being diamonds or if they need a little more of that volume you get from all caps.
We'll just have to see, but Nadertot, we know how they do on the pitch. Very well and very swell. In the air, Slammin throws this one up to the backboard. Lil Pickle can't get the read on it. Travis opts for the boost, leaves Ramsey behind. Lil Pickle coming back up in the front to lead the charge. Gets it just out front. Travis getting a little too eager. Lil Pickle gets the 100 boost. Couldn't find the cut in there. The Ramsey up to the backboard. Nadertot with a big clear out. Ramsey to the sidewall and now down to the front. Lil Pickle up front, slamming, gets a long clear down, and it forces everybody to reset. Hood College will make the push soon.
The one thing I'm really impressed by watching Nadertot when they're off cam, actually, is the creative recoveries that you get, intentionally taking the angles off the ceiling towards the sidewall so you get control of your car faster. I think that's really indicative of high-level gameplay, of creativity, and understanding the mechanics and the physics behind this game.
Maybe Lil Pickle up to the corner here, now to the ceiling. Oh, big bump there, creates some separation in the midfield. Nadertot, though, just so quick to the ball. Also, we're completely scoreless right now. This is the furthest we've gone in this series without having a goal score. Lil Pickle holds down the near post. Lil Pickle again off the corner bounce. Nadertot is up for it. The Ramsey to the side, now back out. Lil Pickle's got their opportunity, fires a quick shot. It goes up just a little too high. Maybe they could have aimed lower, maybe they could have taken their time, but they have to wait for their next opportunity.
You're right about this being a scoreless game. It makes me wonder how much of the offense of Hood College was based on the back of all caps. Or is this kind of just trying to get some field time for Diamond Fire and intentionally making sure that, you know, they get some more touches, we're going to be a little bit more passive and let our teammate make more coverage? But oh my lord, Nadertot with the flip reset, an early challenge from Lil Pickle. They still have the opportunity. Diamond Fire ready to chase that one out after the teammate, and Nadertot gets the finisher with excellent placement.
Good communication by Diamond and Nader. Diamond thought about going for it, but Nader calls them off. You see Diamond make that sweep back around. This is good trust and good practical experience for Diamond Fire to get involved here. I think that latter option you mentioned before is exactly what's going on here. Get some screen time, get some field time as well for Diamond Fire, and see how they play with the rest of the team in practical experience.
It's kind of like a tryout, like I don't want to say this is B team, but by no means is it B team, but it's the kind of thing where you get the opportunity of showing your mettle against another team in a live scenario, which is so much different from practice.
Yeah, it is a lot different, but Nadertot treats it like it's free play, or maybe one of those training packs you were mentioning before. Straight off the corner bounce, great power shot with accuracy right into the dead center of the net. You can't ask for a better place shot.
You know, all the way back at the start of this set, we asked for consistency, we asked for recovery speed. I already talked about the recoveries that we saw out of Nadertot, and there's so much consistency. I'm trying to think, I don't think they've been like under 90% accuracy this game.
No, they really haven't. I mean, I'm just checking it out right now. They've got 100% at the moment, but 1 minute, 17 seconds to go. Grande have come close each and every time they've gotten to the net for a goal conversion, but Nadertot will finally pick up their hat trick and maintain that 100% shooting accuracy.
Right, and that's across the entire match too, is again that like high accuracy. This game's 100%, but it is just, it's oppressive to watch this and to think of just how difficult 100% shooting accuracy really is to field when you've got someone who just every time they put the ball near the net, it is on target. You have to answer it.
It's so much pressure being built up as well, because you know once they get their hands on it, they are more than likely to score each and every time. Even maybe from downtown, just goes right over. A sniper shot from Nadertot finds the back of the net.
He scores when he wants, this Nadertot. It is absolutely absurd.
It is. 49 seconds to go. How many goals can Nader Tot fit in to this time window? We will just have to find out, but it looks like this one is well over for Rio Grande. They'll fall to another 3-0 sweep, continuing the trend in their record. Unfortunately for them, they have yet to pick off one game victory. They'll have to wait again till next week to try again, but we'll close this one out. There's still 30 seconds. Let's see what shades of greatness we can see, and maybe what shades of next week we see from Rio Grande.
Rio Grande trying to get this out of their own corner with a clear, but it's very, very awkward. Crossing the net. Travis Hunt's still trying to stick with it. Comes up a little clumsy on the sidewall, and this is just a lot of those clumsy touches, but Travis is a brawler and refusing to let that one go away. Back in the corner, a center from Hood, cleared out by Rio Grande, and that should be the last possession here. One more shot for Slayman in towards center. He wants to keep it up. Slayman looking for the opportunity, and it will touch down.
A rule one to add a little bit of punctuation at the end for this series. A well done job from both sides. Like we said, Rio Grande, they had really good rotations. They knew when to trust each other. It was nothing going on there. It's just the speed. They got outpaced, and that's probably been the story looking back at the other series. That practical experience, though, you need to play some teams that are just a little bit higher than you. Practice, scrim against them, see if you can get to a point where you can beat them, take games off of them, keep going and get better. Play more ranked as well. That's how people get better. If you're not losing, you're never going to win. That's one thing for sure. There's always experience, knowledge, and things to learn, things to be gained, and I hope that Rio Grande keeps their heads high and eventually gets at least one game picked off, because we know that they are a great team and they can do so. There is potential. They play well.
You know, Grant, I've always heard from competitive players that to lose is to improve. So let's hope that we see some improvement out of this set from Rio Grande. But that is all that we have for today. So we're going to throw you over to an ad break, but there will be more Rocket League action coming right after that. So please stay tuned to the NECC.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable. Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between or otherwise. We are here with another match tonight, our fifth of the night. But once again, I am Gigabyte, and I'm coming at you with Hail Monkey Man here, a great caster from basically the entire Rocket League community space. You cast here too, you cast everywhere, you cast a front line, you've casted with me a whole bunch of times. How you doing tonight, Monkey?
Dude, it's always a great night. Being able to get alongside Gigabyte, he brings a zettabyte's worth of talent and charisma and energy, and it's awesome to be able to see how calculated this kind of competition is going to be. Because honestly, Gigabyte, we got a big one on deck tonight. It is going to be the Alabama Crimson Tide, and of course, you got Alabama Huntsville. It's the battle for Bama. These two teams are looking to rock the boat, and maybe rock against each other to see who can take that #1 spot.
Well, yeah, Alabama Huntsville, you said it, Alabama Huntsville and Alabama Crimson going up against each other here. This is a battle of the Titans right now. Alabama Huntsville, though, a little bit better record on the Champions West Conference. They have a perfect record to this point in the season. They had a bye in week 5. However, week 6, they had a narrow victory over Northern Kentucky, another standout performer from our Champions West Conference. But besides that, they've been going either only to 4 or to 3 in all of their previous matches. But on the side of Alabama Crimson, not quite as solid.
Yeah, it's they're coming out of a bye week, and just before that, they got to go against the lowest seed of Fresno State Blue, and so hopefully they've been able to take lessons learned, get a little bit of confidence. The only comparable loss between these two teams is Lincoln Land, and so I actually had to go to Google and see where in the world that was. Turns out it is not like Legoland, so don't get that confused. But they still can play just like they're at either land, and see if they can be able to utilize that and get a little bit of momentum. This one is really going to tell the tale of the tape. Big 2-game split for both these squads, and so if they can be able to take this, especially for the Alabama Crimson, if they can take this over Huntsville in a very quick fashion, we're talking a game 3, game 4, maybe a sweep, they'd be able to outright take over first place in a head-to-head end game differential.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they are going to need to kind of springboard themselves for the rest of the season. But they are on a very tough road to do it, especially because they have their sub playing for them tonight. Soup Time will be subbing in for Solution. Unfortunately, Solution is unable to play tonight and potentially for the rest of the season due to a rules problem there. But they'll explain that all to you in the NECC Discord. But we are underway here with University of Alabama Huntsman and Alabama Crimson. And already we see off to a good start is Huntsville. They're going to get a good couple touches here. X is going to put it into the offensive zone. Wonders off the corner. Aurora gets a nice little touch, looking for Josh, but a field flip. That's going to allow Alabama Crimson to get a good clear.
And as they rotate back on and away, the Crimson are trying to accept a lot of this pressure because Huntsville, they had a bunch in their face to start the night. And over the midfield line, X is going to not be able to give it to you because they have to take it away. But Josh, with the return, looking for that redirect. Soup Time. This is a bleed upfield, so they're going to be able to alleviate a little bit of this pressure. Not a whole lot of offense from either side, but Huntsville's been able to maintain it, looking to give a threat to the box for good backboard defense out of Soup Time, making good air time and quality time here as we pass the first minute of play. Both these teams looking for a little bit more territory control.
Alabama Crimson, they've looked probably a little bit stronger in this early minute as they've had a good, solid defense and plenty of offense to go, but Huntsville is so good on these counterattacks. Flip reset for Aurora, tries to put it through, but Buck has a good read, recognizes that one's coming. Now Buck is going to take it upfield with him. Gets chipped, but Wonders is there. Good bump from Buck. That's going to create an opening. Buck off the corner, looking for a teammate. It does come in from Soup Time. Aurora is there, though, to prevent the dangerous pass from going. And now Wonders will be left back in midfield to clean up. Good play here from Huntsville. They had a really good defense there. And I can't help but feel as though Alabama Crimson might have let that one go a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. They had good midfield pressure, and they've been really kind of edging forward on these near side post attacks. And Aurora, he has a lot of air time. He's basically unchallenged or waiting for them to get to the wall. And Huntsville is going to be testing the Alabama Crimson every step of the way as Wonders is going to be able to get a big save. But Axe is putting these shots on again and again. Huntsville, a lot of contended pressure. They have 4 shots to the absolute nothing of the Alabama Crimson. It's Bama out there no matter where you are. But now being tested on defense for the first time in a while, the Crimson get to work.
Well, Crimson, they can't seem to really get a ton of offensive momentum going. They'll get maybe 1 or 2 good shots in against Huntsville, but that is not enough to bring them down. Here we might have a good one, but X is there in time. I can't help but feel a lot of the issues for Crimson on both sides of the pitch come from they are not exactly jumping on these challenges when they need to. And I say it all the time, I'll say it again. Once you reach a certain level of Rocket League, it's all about the speed of your challenges. And just like that, Huntsville gets a good one. They're going to have to rush back, though, as a good clear comes out from Soup Time. He does get credited with the shot. Would have been a sniper goal, but Josh was back with plenty of time to spare. Good offense going here. Aurora over to X. Off the wall. Wonders, chips it up. X is going to have that one pretty clean. And you know, this is... I said it already during this little minor spiel that I've been on, but you know what? Accuracy matters just as much as speed. Breaks, my guy.
Oh my goodness, Soup Time making good time out of this game time, and that's some hot soup right there. It's tasting pretty good. It goes for that outside angle shot. It gets it behind the defender, catches him in the rotation, and maybe just maybe quality over quantity is gonna be the name of the game. Usually if you can get a lot of extra pressure, be able to put these shots on the wall, you have your opponent have to respect that defense, but elongated pressure, Huntsville's looking for the breakaway. This one's gonna break down, but Alabama is right back onto their opponent's half of the pitch.
Good counterattack opportunity by Alabama here as they are constantly pushing back against the Huntsville defense. Never let it be said that Alabama Crimson cannot find an opportunity to attack and get a breakaway, because they did have an opportunity there. They just weren't quite fast enough to it, and as well as Huntsville just being a little bit faster to get back than Crimson could get to it. But we play on here as Huntsville trying to get an edge at midfield, as they do seem to be kind of losing that battle.
And Josh is going to be the first one to the backboard, and it's been X that's been the glue for the majority of the Huntsville team. He's been able to kind of create different opportunities and alleyways for them to take these shots. You see him already taking one here, but that's a bit of a double commit, so Josh is gonna be left alone in a 2v1, looking for the tap off the wall, gets behind him. This could be a secondary opportunity. Third man rotating up. No, he will stay safely back. The Crimson should be able to maintain some pressure in this last half minute of play, but Huntsville, they're gonna go on the afterburners. They just have to be able to break through this midfield line, because so far, Crimson, they haven't put too much up, but everything they have has been quality effort and kept Huntsville from hunting for another goal.
Well, this is a good start no matter how you look at it from Crimson here, as they are about to put Huntsville down 1-0 in the series. If they can hold out here, although one more breakaway might be the key. No, it won't. Soup Time will put it in for second of the game. The sub coming in clutch for Crimson.
And sometimes, you know, if you're gonna you can be the super sub here, super soup time, we can call them. I like mine broccoli and cheese, but when it tastes so good, it's just because you've been able to let it marinate. A whole lot of work's been done in the kitchen. You're gonna be able to clean it up. 2-0 goes this game, and this one more than likely will settle just like that. The Crimson, they were able to weather the storm, and Huntsville is gonna be left hunting another day for a win.
Well, you know, this is not exactly something we're used to seeing from Huntsville too, so not exactly an encouraging sign. Typically, Huntsville gets out of the gate very quickly. They're out to offense very fast. They don't take a ton of time to feel out the opposing team. Maybe this is an example of them trying to pivot a little bit, or maybe they're being a little bit thrown off by Soup Time coming in for Crimson, and that's kind of throwing off their game plan a little bit. Either way, Huntsville has to make some changes, especially at the midfield line.
Yeah, and what's kind of a bit of a misnomer too is that they had a lot of the early term pressure, and so you just see like a big amount of differential from what they did in the early game to the late game. And maybe Alabama, the good old Crimson and Whites, I think it is, not Crimson and Cream. I think that's OU. I'm a big fan of those guys.
I think it is Crimson and White. Yeah.
It's Crimson and White. They maybe they're playing for the long term. It seems like they just took a moment to be able to get up to speed and be able to get up to you know, the game time capabilities, because Soup Time just allowed Buck and Wonders to go upfield, create that pressure, and then they held the back line as well. And Soup Time just cleaned up everything from the midfield. I want to see even more out of X, because X definitely was kind of that variable guy. He was able to kind of fit into just very non-standard positions that created some good rotations, but also they cannot double commit when he has those efforts.
No, and that's going to be the biggest problem for Huntsville. We saw several times during that entire during that entire game, they had 3 men up in the offensive third, not even in the offensive half, in the offensive third, and that's not something they can afford to do. And that's how Crimson got a lot of their offensive momentum going when Huntsville had them pinned back pretty well. So we need to see a much better midfield focus on both sides, both the defense and the offense. And this might be a good focus from them. It will be. Aurora will put in the cleanup, and Huntsville out to the lead in game 2.
Now, I knew that X would be the X factor, but I didn't realize he'd be able to bait 3 players all at the same time. And, you know, a full-scale triple commit, someone's going to be able to hit that ball, especially if it's on your goal line. Aurora, good patience, stays in prime positioning, able to clean that up. And the first 15 seconds goes the way of Huntsville.
Oh, good challenge by Soup Time. Aurora dumps it upfield, is looking for X, but it got a little bit intercepted by Wonders. It is still going to progress up towards the Crimson side, though, but it is going to get cleared. Now down to Josh. And I like what Huntsville's doing on these clears. We're seeing them get it to the wall a lot, but it seems like Crimson is perfectly prepared for that. It might be good for on Huntsville's side to maybe get some long clears, because it doesn't seem like Crimson is playing a third man back all that much.
No, they're not. And so far, it's been a little bit of a mess in this near side rotation because Buck, he's the first man to be able to escape. And still, Huntsville, they cannot let an opportunity that presents itself go by the wayside. Could have been able to use that long booming clear like you were talking about, but it's going to be a midfield touch. Josh wins it. Soup just trying to go down center lane. That has been a great shooting lane for him so far because there's been just a lot of opportunistic clears that have gone that direction. But as they work the perimeter, Huntsville, it's a double commit. And X, he's going to get the last touch. I don't know if that was already in, but this is 2 up for Huntsville, and they're just making use of these mistakes at the goal line.
I don't think it was full in. Oh yeah, it was in, but X just is like, nah, Josh. It's like, nah, Aurora's already got one. I got an assist earlier. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this here, but he does tip that in. The double commits and triple commits from Crimson are what are killing them this game. They need to be. What a reverse angle!
Oh,
wow, Aurora.
From the kickoff, you're never safe. Aurora takes away the would-be defensive touch. Buck never was able to reach his arms out in time. That is fantastic, aggressive rotation from the kickoff. I like that kind of confidence. And you know what? This was a sleeping Huntsville that came to play, but Wonders is gonna make them wonder what they were thinking.
I don't know what they were thinking here. On defense? I'm not gonna lie, that's just a complete breakdown of the defense there. X was out of position. Huntsville went for the same boost. It's just entirely the wrong one there. You can kind of chalk that up to just a scuffed play and move on to that one.
Hey, but you know what? A minute and a half into this game, number 2, and Huntsville has awoken this beast, this undefeated squad, trying to take on their in-state rival and really put on the pressure show. But the Crimson and White are trying to come into this fight. As Josh is going to rotate to this backside wall. Don't double commit, but he is going to fall into the goal line. This one's going to be a midfield pressure play. Josh, oh, the fake out. Buck trying to break a few ankles. This one going top shelf and down, but out. They're going to look for another opportunity. Buck back to the midfield. It's going to go to the opposite side corner. Soup time, game time, air time, but not enough time. Still, the offense continues. Huntsville under attack, but alleviating this pressure.
Well, Soup time almost makes it a good time at halftime, but we're not quite there yet. Huntsville continues to have the advantage. Good little touch there. No way by Buck. He almost ducked that back in. Soup time gonna try and look to put it down. Buck one more, but it's going off corner. Huntsville not accurate with those shots, and that might cost them here as it's going back the other way towards Crimson's side. X into the corner. Buck is finally able to get that clear, and now we're starting to see some of that Huntsville midfield defense that we like to see. It took them a little while, but they seem to be lighting up now.
Aurora being a little bit too patient in his placement there. Just go on the attack whenever you have 2 attackers there in your face. You got to be able to, take some field domination in your way, but there is no boost in his tank until he gets to the midfield. Wonders, top shelf, looking for a double. It's going to go wide. Soup time is there, but showing a little bit of that sub antics, trying to make sure that he's in proper position. Soup time with a big body in the way. And so far, Huntsville, they started strong, started fast. They let one go in from a kickoff, but it's otherwise been pretty clean.
Yeah, that one was just kind of a scuff play, and those ones are just kind of easy to move on from. Like, it's easier for me personally to move on from just kind of a, you know, it's like, yeah, we just messed that one up bad. We know we're better than this. Let's just move on. And that comes with plays, games, everything. And it does seem like Huntsville is doing exactly that. Is they are getting some seriously good passing plays in the offensive zone, and their defense is on point now too. This might be another one of those passing plays, but the free flip doesn't work out for Josh. Buck to Wonders looking for the finish. Buck is going to go for the bump, but he's going to shoot right over Aurora. The demo eventually does come out, but not in time to get the shot.
Oh, and this one extended airballing, but no, that one will not fall. Bit of a back pass. Aurora going to leave it up to the backboard defense. And while this latter minute of gameplay in game 2, it still falls in the way of Huntsville. They're trying to build upon their lead, get a little bit of insurance. Crimson maybe leaving an open duck to mount. That one will not find anything but the wall. And so far, just keeping this pressure downfield has forced the Crimson onto their heels. And I don't think that we're going to see much of a change, because it's just been an offensive just masterclass by Huntsville. And they've been able to then show that and bounce it out with a great defense.
I will say, though, we did see a lot of improvements from Crimson in the second half here. In the first half, we saw a lot of double commits, a lot of uncertainty about who's going, some breakdowns in communication, etc. on the side of Crimson, and Huntsville just exploited them. We did see that Crimson kind of shaped those issues up a little bit, though, so hopefully we see Crimson continue that trend into Game 3. But as it stands, we are all tied up at 1 as Huntsville makes up plus interest for their Game 1 loss.
You know, there was one play that's not going to be appreciated by anyone else except the people that got to see Aurora. That fake out, or at least that tried demo attempt as Buck just goes zooming over Aurora. It takes some heavy confidence in different phrases to just stare at your opponent, see them coming at you, and just not move. I love that kind of play. But again, we get to see Huntsville come back to life, and I love the guy in X. He's either going to be able to hand it off, create some chaos in the midfield, and that's what created a lot of good presence that that good old Alabama Crimson had to respect. But I mean, was that all? Was it just a big X factor? But what left the Crimson behind this game?
Like I said, it was their early mistakes. We saw a triple commit that led to a Huntsville goal directly. We saw a double commit that also directly led to a Huntsville goal, and then another good earned one by Huntsville. But if you take those 2 goals away, we're at 1-1 in overtime right now. It was the mistakes from Crimson that were the biggest problem, and that was the X factor, if you want to call it that. And so if we can see those mistakes from Crimson kind of get shored up a little bit, stop seeing so many miscommunications, and see them shape it up on defense a little bit, they'll be just fine against Huntsville.
Going for a little bit of a delayed kickoff of we go into game number 3. Crowd may boo it. I like that demo. I want to see a little bit more physicality. If you're going to be able to see the Alabama Crimson, if they're going to be able to create their own, I don't see them mechanically beating out Huntsville right now because of just the level of play that we've seen them escalate to. I want to see them start to bump, bruise, and just bully all of the defense out of the box. Even going for one there. It's a shot by X. It's going to go right over ahead. And that was a great just shot on target. Buck was able to put it to the side, but this one was just a great perimeter shot.
I will honestly say, though, this one was as a result of that incoming demo attempt by the Huntsville attacker. Buck was forced to make a play that he was not ready to make as a result of that bump attempt, and that's just what really opened the door. So just as you say it, Monkey, it happens. Huntsville gets a goal off of the physical play. Aurora is going to try and get a second one here off of a really good 50. Almost an own goal by Buck. That would have been severely disheartening.
Yeah, that was almost 2 own goals. The first one was just a whiff and not able to get there in time. The opposite direction. Great defense by Josh. Josh has been pretty strong on the defensive half for Huntsville. Bit of a misplay here. Wonder's going to call up for a little bit of assist, but soup time. He's going to hang out towards his latter back half. Buck hanging out. That's going to be over from Aurora to Josh, looking for an outlet pass into the corner, but this one goes to the midfield. Will rotate away. And Huntsville been able to accept a lot of that incoming pressure, but Crimson is just kind of shooting themselves in the foot right now. They've had a few key opportunities. Accuracy can bloom into great things. Just have to go center net.
Yeah, and that's been a consistent problem underlying everything from Crimson, is that accuracy problem. We saw several in game 2 that were not on target that really could have been, and they could have had a goal out of them. And we saw a couple in game 1 as well, and it just seems to be getting worse over time. Now, though, their biggest problem is Huntsman is locking them at midfield. Finally, Buck is able to break through. Good 50 by X there to keep that one out of goal. And Soup Time is not able to get to it. X is, though, off corner, looking for a teammate. Aurora takes the shot, forces 3. Josh with the rebound. He's not going to get there. X one more. No.
Wow. Huntsville went all out attack, and the Crimson did not blink. But still, the demo coming in as Buck is bucked right out of the way. Huge clears, be able to stave off any further attacks. That offense being able to just push them to the limit, and still they bend, they do not break. I love what I'm seeing out of these passing plays from Huntsville, and I'm seeing X right in the middle of them every single step of the way, and his teammates are ready to receive it. Great reaction times and great overall shooting from this class.
Well, Huntsville trying to get some momentum going, but they just kind of end up having to pass it back and forth. But they are waiting at midfield for that bad clear by Crimson. Good shot by X. Is that going to get past Buck? Not quite. Soup Time is forced to turn on it. Good little over the head touch by Buck. Or is that Wonders? I believe that was Wonders.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. There's a lot of red up there.
reading would work wonders for me. I mean, that's definitely would.
I see what you did there. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Shot it.
Aurora, though. Yeah, there you go.
There's the Borealis, that beautiful, beautiful coloration as Josh is able to make this 50 off, and great heads-up play. Aurora finds the defense fluttering and then sputtering as we're under 2 minutes of play. It's 2 up for the for Huntsville, Alabama. So ever since game 1, it just seemed like they kind of weren't ready to come out and play. They definitely have been all shots and just all gas, no brakes. And we've seen a little bit of a flutter in the engines of the Crimson Tide. It's just not exactly hitting where they need to. And I mean, these rotations are fine. And this particular shot, this one should drop down. But again, lack of a touch. You can't have empty possessions.
No, and that's been, again, one of the biggest problems for Crimson here is those empty possessions. We've talked about it, the lack of execution, the lack of committing, and the lack of just putting the ball on target has been at Crimson's, the heel in their side. And that's not something they can keep up with, especially as if they continue that, they are looking to go down on match point here, especially if X is managing to dunk this one. Not quite. Aurora is going to go up, trying to carry it into corner. Good pinch to mid, looking to get one over to Josh. Josh is forced to double back as he wasn't ready for that one. Up to X. Off of the corner, Josh drops it down. Wonders is there to receive it, though. And this is a great offensive stand by Huntsville, too. Let's give them credit. It wasn't all mistakes by Crimson. They are just fast to these challenges.
I'm loving, honestly, if you were to put it into a zone, they have the kind of the outlier zones into these corners. They never left. They stayed on the upfield, right hovering around that midfield line, and they were rotating. They never were impatient, never overcommitted on any 1, 2, or 3-man play. And then they just allowed that breakdown and that panic in the defense to slowly accumulate for the side of Alabama, and then just took advantage of it. And it was great heads-up plays like that that gave them this advantage. 3-0, 30 seconds left. Soup Time. He's going to get thrown to the ground. That might as well be in a restaurant. There's spilt soup all over the place. But Wonders is going to be a wonder and a figment of our imagination as he gets deleted. Another challenge. And so far, this one has been a dwindling offensive that just has not existed. 2 shots, the likes of 6. Crimson Tide is going to be the Crimson Hide. They are hidden away. And Huntsville, they have taken 2 in a row, and they're going to be on series points.
They are indeed. As the timer does tick out, we're just waiting for it to drop. And I think we've already kind of talked about all the issues that Crimson is having right now and why and how they have to improve on them. It's just Huntsville, they didn't look so great in game 1, but now in games 2 and 3, they have absolutely dominated, especially at that midfield line. Crimson cannot get a clear out edgewise. They are just being forced back into their defensive zone, unable to get out because Huntsville is rotating through their corner boosts, picking them up, taking the 12s as well, and getting out there, getting to midfield, waiting for the next touch, which is exactly, that is textbook offensive Rocket League right there for you. And Huntsville is playing it well.
They are, and I loved the attempts that we saw out of UA just in the early interim, but then they just kind of get shut down. I mean, we saw that full field pressure. I like to call it the cage because you just get locked in, and then from all sides they're rattling the bars, and they just never let you go. And it's just that elongated stay in the upfield. They have great boost economy. They're able to maintain that pressure because they never overcommit. And then whenever you see the Crimson trying to slowly leak their way out of their own half, they just immediately get their boost stolen at the midfield. There's no transitional play that can really move on, and ultimately Huntsville is just taking advantage of that. How much of this would you give to the fact that this is with sub? I mean, I've seen Soup Time, you know, he's been in proper places. It's not exactly like they've been hindered by him. I just wonder if going forward, if they're gonna be able to build him further into the roster.
I mean, he's definitely not been bad here. You know, he's been a very critical part of the offense. However, I don't think he's really fitting in as well as they want. He is making some kind of sloppy decisions on defense, and unless they really want to kind of just throw defense to the wind and just go with a very heavily offensively focused team, I think they're going to need to kind of work him in by telling him, okay, settle down on defense a little bit so that way we can all get a save in edgewise if necessary.
I want to be able to see Wonders step it up. I want him to get to that 6th, 7th. I don't know how many gears are left in the engines, but it has been a non-stop Michael Bay explosion fest as we have just a demolition rally going on. This is a setup over to Buck as Wonders and Buck are able to go 2-time as Soup Time is waiting into this outside corner. That pass is just a little bit behind, but it turns it into something good. This offensive will stay, trying to elongate this play. Opening minute, it's been the Crimson with pressure. The shot, the save. It goes one more time, but Wonders is able to crawl in there, dunk it away, and for the first time in a while, we have a lead for the Tide.
X jumped on that one. He thought it was going through a little bit earlier, and he had to get back down, and as a result of that, he could not make the save that he wanted to make. And Wonders couldn't quite, or sorry, excuse me, Josh couldn't come up and get exactly the save he wanted. So that leads to a Crimson goal. Josh looking for a goal of his own. X now gonna go up here off the backboard. Looking to get it to center. Aurora jumps on that one hard. And that's gonna leave Josh as the last man back. He is back there in time, but that was a bit of a scary situation for Crimson. What a bump though. This is gonna open the hole for X. X is gonna try and put it through. He had to beat 2 though, and Buck turned very quickly to get that one out of there. The defense from Crimson looking reinvigorated here in game 4.
It really is, and it's honestly turned into a bar fight. I mean, when you saw those earlier demos and just bumps and bruising, they are trying every step of the way to meet Huntsville in the midfield and just give him one to the chin, be able to knock him out if they can. And, oh, this is a 1v1. He's able to get a nice little flick, but it doesn't go very high. X is going to try and continue this from the midfield. He's looking for Josh. Josh is going to leap, realize it's got to be a 1v1 beat, and a bouncer. Can X put it in? Yes, he will. Oh, he takes on the entirety of the Crimson Tide. Huntsville tying this one up just above 2 minutes of play into this game. Four.
That one.
Right, yeah, that one, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. But you know, I would like to try and blame Soup Time for that goal, but yeah, he cheated up a little bit, but quite frankly, that was an understandable one. He thought Wonders was going to have that 50 in the bag, but let's give X all of the credit in the world for that one. He dunked out Wonders so hard, put it underneath him to get that bouncer to become a reality, and he might do this one here too. Aurora's going to put that one on target. Wonders is going to take that one out, but that does get the offense going for Huntsville again. Wonders is able to get it back out to midfield, looking for a teammate. Josh gets it to Aurora, who gets a good 50, looking for a ceiling shot maybe, and Buck controls it though. Good, the defense in general is getting much better for Crimson, despite that one little hiccup, but that was just a really great play out of Huntsville. So this is a much, much closer match as we pass halftime.
It is, and it's just because you're going out there with confidence and aggression. I'm pretty sure someone in the Bama camp said, hey, guys, we got to go out there. We have allowed too much just extra play to be made by Huntsville. They're getting too many extra passes that are uncontested. They have met them face to face in the midfield. It is a battle, and they have made sure to tell them, hey, we're here to play. We're not going away anytime soon, and we're going to put every single touch that you have into a pressure situation, regardless if it comes to our side or to yours. And now a little passing play. Soup Time is going to be given a love nudge. X to intercept, and this one will be put away, seals the deal, and it's going to be Huntsville that now takes the lead.
I think this might have been an own goal probably here. Look, X tips it over. Wonders, yeah, it was on target. He did have to get something, but he definitely accelerated it past what either of his other teammates could do. So, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. Either way, that was very excellent offensive positioning by X to make sure that he could turn that one around, beat out 2 Crimson defenders to get that done.
The man, he can 1v3. Honestly, I have been very impressed with the entirety of the mechanic set of X. He is definitely that factor that you kind of look for. He is that glue. He is that inspiration. He is that catalyst for change. And this one, a little bit of a double commit. Soup Time is going to be given a chance to be able to rotate back, looking for a bump play. Aurora, he's going to get more than that. He's going to get a demo trying to center it up. But do they commit all 3? Oh, maybe up from each post. We go coast to coast posties the whole way down. A minute coming up. It's a double commit. Huntsville flying through the sky, but the Crimson, they're not dead yet. Looking for a rotation the other direction, trying to make a full transition. That's a demo. That's a play. It's 2-2. 62 seconds left on the board.
That was just a mess on both sides of the field, no matter how you look at it. X gets blown up. Josh misses the touch, and that one just rolls in front for the shot. And on the other side of the field, you have Huntsville, who goes coast to coast, post to post, back and forth, and where it stops, nobody knows. And it ended up in their own net. And that was just a whole baffling series of events that I'm ready to be done with. X, though, he might get this backwards angle. He was looking for a teammate. I'm not sure he was looking for over there.
Uh-oh.
Josh, he will go up. Yeah, he goes up and gets this one. Back out to midfield. These mid passes are not working for Huntsville, though. I will say that much.
He takes one touch, leaves it off. Love the mindfulness of Soup Time to realize that Buck is an outlet. He goes and tackles Aurora. X can be left to do nothing as he's sideways at the goal line. What a shot placement, and suddenly we have the Crimson Tide in the lead in this last half minute of play. This has been a crazy, chaotic turn of events.
Yeah, to say the least, this has been an absolute roller coaster for the last 60 seconds, and I don't think it's going to get any less exciting as we reach 20 seconds left. X might make it an even game here, tries his best, Josh will do it! What a pass by X off the wall. Back and forth. We have no idea where this is gonna end, folks. What a pass.
Well, you can't even hate on Wonders. He's just like, what? And it goes behind him from the wall in the most narrow margin. He threaded the needle. It's tied 3-3. The battle for Bama could come down to this shootout. This one will arc high over Aurora. Unable to get that outside touch. That could have gone to Josh, but instead Wonders, he might have final possession. Goes over X, able to not, actually won't be able to get that 50 from the midfield. Low side corner, no one to be there. We're in overtime, Gigabyte. It's going to be do or die. It's golden goal, maybe even platinum goal for this series for Huntsville, but Crimson looking to live on.
Oh, Wonders, he was looking for that flip reset. He got it too. Soup Time, he'll go up for this one, back to center. Buck is going to get the touch off the backboard, looking for the double. It's going to be on target, not quite. There, that one is on target. Wonders sends us to a game 5.
Oh my goodness, Buck started it all off. He's able to get one extra. He kept the defense looking up, and no one looked forward. Wonders doing wonders in the box. Wow, this one was so much more exciting. Huntsville put in just a pressure cage situation, and neck and neck haymakers. This was that mid to late round fight in a boxing match where both sides are tired and they're just going full slugfest, and Crimson, they've been able to get a point off of this one and stay in the match, but it took some theatrics. Just wow, this was great to watch. This was fun to watch.
Yeah, this is a heck of a series that we have developing here. That was just back and forth. Like I said, I had no idea Crimson was going to come out. That wasn't exactly an easy goal to score, but it wasn't the hardest either. I mean, it just seems like towards the end there, both defenses just kind of broke down, and Huntsville just happened to be the defense that broke down last. So, and that's how we ended up with this Crimson win. So, I don't know. I can't give you a prediction on Game 5, Monkey. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's going to come out with the series.
So if I were to give it to consistency, because I still believe that Huntsville is operating at an offensive level that they have been since game 2. I still believe that that is what we'll be looking to have them bring out in terms of total effort. But it's definitely about who's going to have that breakdown of defense at the final moments. Huntsville, actually, rather, the Crimson Tide, they are able to stand strong, and it took some non-standard really amazing plays out of X and company to make those passes work. It's going to be whoever's going to nail down those passes and who puts pressure around the box. I can't wait to see what either side is going to bring out as we get into this game 5.
And you know what? This has just been, both these teams have been kind of just, the defenses have been breaking down, but the offenses have been getting better. So as the match goes on, we see those levels kind of balancing themselves out. And I think we're in for a slugfest game 5. And that is the way it seems to be starting, as a couple quick offenses and a couple quick counterattacks coming out in both directions in the first 30 seconds here. And Josh is going to try and do some dirty dancing to get it past him, but that's not going to happen. Laura over to X, back up the center. Soup Time is there for the response at midfield. Josh trying to get it past Buck, but he was just slow on that challenge. Buck was faster than him, so already in the early going, Crimson might have the initial advantage, but it's too close to really call anything definitive. Never mind. You know what? Just make me eat my words, Josh. That's okay.
X is going to be able to get this 50, and that's what started it all. You actually had a double commit. If there was anyone there to be able to grab it, it would have been able to go the other way, but they were able to get that rotation just completely caught off guard. Didn't know who was going to be taking the true shot. It went to the backside angle of the defender. Inside the post it goes, and Aurora's bullying everyone. I love it. He goes 1v2. I'll fight you on the beaches. I'll fight you on the shores, and I'll fight you at your goal line. My boy's going to score.
Aurora, an absolute bully on the goal line. He opens the door wide for UAH to put that one in. Now 2 goals up, just past a minute elapsed in this game. Although if last game was anything to tell about it, that might not be the case for long. A couple good quick demos are not going to matter. They get sent back towards the Crimson side. Buck trying to drop it down to a teammate. X is good. X is so fast on these offensive possessions. He is ready to just go as soon as that ball crosses the opponent's half.
He is, and he has the vision for it. I love it. He has not disappointed me a single step of the way. He's either been able to get that next pass going, or he's going for the shot. He is always forcing his opponents on the defensive side to just realize, oh, I am a presence. I am here. You better be looking at me, because this is going to go to someone or at your net. He is always has to be an equation that has to be solved. And it's one of those high-level math plays that I'm not really readily able to do that with. He, in fact, goes for the buff. No one able to get that next rotation. Soup Time doesn't get a whole lot of airtime on that ball, but the transition play, it's 1, 2, 3, back to the 2. Buck looking for a flick, and you can't beat out X like that. No, he's going to win that from the ground.
X just kind of waited there to be like, you done? You done passing this around between each other? I'll take that. Thank you very much. But it does get turned right back around on him, though, as that clear wasn't fully solid. X, once again, familiar situation, gonna try and drop it down for a teammate. Aurora is there. There's now 2 from UAH upfield. X gets it taken away from him. It's 3v2 in favor of Crimson. Aurora goes up, Buck off the backboard. Looking for the third man to come in, but he was already up. That's so unfortunate for Crimson. The third man already being that far up might kill them here. Buck off the crossbar. That's not gonna work for you, Buck. The woodwork is not the goal.
Oh man.
Crimson's old issues continue to rear their ugly heads.
That's wow. I mean, I get the pressure situation. He wanted to be able to get that off the sidewall, but did it just a little bit too quick. There was plenty of time off of that demo, but it's hard to evaluate that in the time. 2020 hindsight, and, you know, of course, caster hindsight. I get to see it from the field. But Wonders now, he's been not much of a factor, but they get him on the demo. Buck looking for anything that Josh is going to deliver to him. X is already there, but it goes overhead. X has not been cleanly being able to get these possessions because Crimson has been able to just delete him from the equation by get it around him. They've definitely utilized just open space to beat out X, and they're probably going to try and flick here. He's looking for boost. That rotation never came because he was just looking for some kind of boost to fill his canister. Now Buck, he's going to be calling up Wonders. going into the backfield rotation for him, and Soup Time and him are going to be on the midfield line. Soup Time just cannot beat out Josh. 60 seconds are left. They're still down 2, and it may be the only 2 goals they need to win this game.
I'm gonna flip back a second here for just a split second. We just appreciate the genius that was X laying an egg on that boost specifically. It served as a fake challenge and also waiting for boost at the same time. Brilliant play situationally by X. That is next level 3000 IQ thinking.
It is. More than I can think. I mean, this is kind of Rocket League level. Then, oh, but the hand up from Soup. X just takes on anyone. He doesn't care where the attack's coming from. 30 seconds left. There may not be enough time for the Crimson Tide to be able to get back in this fight.
Josh gonna try and flip it around to get another one. With less than 20 seconds remaining, all they have to do is keep it on the orange side of the field. Josh goes up to Aurora, who doesn't get a good touch. X is there for that one, though. It is 50 by Buck. A goal right now would give them a slight, if not improbable, opportunity. But X is going to make sure that doesn't happen, and that will be it, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between or otherwise. It's gonna be Crimson, my bad, Huntsville taking down Crimson. Too many Alabamas out here, man.
There's a lot of Bamas out there.
Too many Bama.
The battle for Bama decided by Huntsville. I mean, oh, wow. Game 5 really decided by the fact that they were able to just keep that pressure early. They did not break down. I mean, for all the great work, Josh being able to get those 2 goals, every single one of these goals assisted by both Aurora and X. The gatekeeper that is X from the goal line is beautiful. You're talking about his IQ level, his game awareness, his overall just variable of what he can create, really elevated the Huntsville squad to a level of victory. Gotta give it to the side of Crimson. There may be some hope in Soup Time, but I do implore them to be able to kind of work out their roster, see where things go, because did well to fill a few different spots, and they found a lot of amazing offenses and aggression going into that game 4, which propelled them to this final game in this series. But that was Buck and Wonders just doing what Buck and Wonders do. And I don't know if you can duplicate that magic often enough to call it a welcome, I guess, product of your team. But overall, job well done by Huntsville.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you were talking about X a little bit. I'm going to sing his praises here, too. He's like the MVP of the match for me, and he's going to be my choice as well. And so, like, X is absolutely the most astounding, quote from Gigabyte here. X is the best playmaker in Collegiate Rocket League.
Wow.
Bar none. At least in that match, he made the magic happen for Huntsville. Every single play that was made, defensive or offensive, X had a hand in that, especially in that game 5. And games 2 through 5, he was even more excellent. Game 1, all of Huntsville kind of had some problems. They took a little bit longer than normal to heat up there. But what we saw from X tonight was absolute majesty. I can't wait to see what he has for us in the future. And I sincerely hope we see him take those playmaking skills and kind of escalate them to the next level as well. So big things from X in the future coming from me.
I mean, it's nothing but good times for them. Huntsville, they've got great pass awareness, they've got great team awareness, field awareness. I mean, awareness of their tools and their arsenal and what they have to do. I mean, it's going to just be about Bama being able to rebuild from the ground up. They have their main basis, their foundation when it comes to Wonders and Buck. Got to be able to see who that third is going to be, and maybe it's going to be Soup Time, maybe a little bit of extra play time to go with them. But otherwise, great series overall. And we're gonna be I'm not gonna be here for this next one, Gigabyte, but there's still gonna be a lot more action coming after this one. I do hope this next one's gonna be pretty fun for you.
I hope so. It's always nice to see it because you know what? We have Emergence West Conference coming up at you. It will be Concordia, Wisconsin 2 versus Upper Iowa in just a few minutes. Stick around, everybody.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable. Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.